to share the screen to us. But okay, X-Control is back with us, and I think he did see that match a while ago. I'm pretty sure he's happy with the Jinx Lulu combo, and we were talking about off cam. Well, we didn't have a cam anyway. Behind the scenes, we're talking about how maybe this could be banned, and yes, it's actually getting banned by Bigetron. Not gonna give that away to DR Esports. So yeah, X-Control, so far in the draft that you're seeing, what can you say?
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I think, again, end of the day, you ban the Lulu because she's much more malleable and can work with many more AD carries and still retain, still provide utility. Like Lulu Kai'Sa is still a great combination as well. Lulu Vayne, even though I think Vayne's kind of trash, can still work. So yeah, banning the Lulu over the Jinx really, obviously the sensible part of that duo to take away. The Olaf ban, again, I like this strategy. Like you play an OP pick and then for the second game you ban it. Like I like the idea behind that. So the Olaf ban. They don't want to give that over to Bigetron. And Bigetron have gone for the Graves here. Graves is kind of an interesting pick because we don't see a huge amount of it because the meta right now is kind of dominated by essentially CC heavy carries. But Graves coming in, you can combo him something like the Malphite, the Brawl, and actually you're going to get more than enough CC and utility, and he can provide the major damage source coming from the jungle. So I would expect this Malphite to get locked in. I think Malphite's a very high tier pick in the Baron lane right now, and this is already shaping up to be a pretty strong and like CC heavy team fight coming out from Bigetron.
I like it. I mean, I like the Graves pick in here as well. And what also surprised me is the Seraphine pick, not really getting picked a lot at the Wild Rift Asia Brawl as well. But the CC coming from the Seraphine is kind of annoying. Given we have a range jungler as well, might also be helpful to just try to kite away the members coming from the side of the R Esports. So you don't really have to just go in front of the face of the Seraphine, maybe just to take her down, or maybe even the Corki. So you just go for the range, you just go for the pokes, especially that you got that Ezreal as well. You can maybe even slow down the members and hurt whoever the one frontlining on the side of the R Esports. But we don't have that one yet because we can see a lot of range in here so far for the first 3 picks of the R Esports.
Yeah, I mean, this is an interesting comp. Yeah. I'm not sold on Corki AD carry massively. I think like there are just stronger AD carry picks than Corki, and I think you can very effectively play him mid and retain your mixed damage profile. But I mean, obviously, this is something that is very dominant in Asian team meta. Is just like this Corki AD carry or Corki marksman pick. It looks like we're going to get obviously Seraphine support. I would imagine Gragas jungle here. And it's going to be obviously Camille heading into the top lane. But Camille into Malphite is a losing matchup for Camille. So they've intentionally picked Camille into Malphite, knowing that at least in the early game, she is going to lose that matchup. I'm kind of favoring Bigetron, honestly, just from the draft. I think that they've got a really, again, super coordinated team fight, plenty of CC, good balanced damage, the damage profile coming out from their comp is consistent and good. Whereas very magic damage heavy coming out from DR, and if Malphite wanted to, he could go basically adaptive helm, and that would be enough to counter the majority of the DR esports roster, because the only consistent source of physical damage application is the Camille. But if you just CC her and kill her, the rest of the entire the rest of the team is just pure magic damage. So I'm favoring Bigetron massively here, coming into this game.
Same actually. I'm liking the draft of Bigetron Infinity. I mean, yes, there's a lot of CC as well from the side of DR Esports, but you know what? I think Bigetron Infinity can just do in here. Okay, let's just proc their CCs in here on the side of DR Esports, and once they finally lost it, then they can go all in here with them having the Malphite in their composition as well. So the engage potential is just so massive in here for Bigetron Infinity, and they can even answer back with CC coming from themselves as well. So I'm pretty scared about how DR Esports can pull this off. At the same time, don't really have that frontline champion to soak in some damage that might come up from the Graves and the Ezreal. Looking at the late game stage as well, this is massive amounts of damage that they might have to deal with the Graves, Ezreal, and Orianna too. So that's gonna hurt a lot. So, but we'll see. Still though, I think I'm gonna give my prediction onto the draft of Bigetron Infinity.
Yeah, it just coordinates really nicely. You know, as you correctly said, like a really great team fight, and we kind of highlighted the way the damage profiling works. They've got Orianna, who I consider the best mid laner in the game right now. They've got Malphite, that front line, as you said, the ability to just soak a little bit of damage. And again, if Malphite doesn't build full AP, and I'm just saying here, if you build full AP, I am going to quit this cast. But if it is, as long as he builds tank, builds adaptive helm for sure. But also, you know, just adds a little bit of that magic resisting Mercury Treads. I mean, Merc Treads is such an insane pickup this game. Like every single member on Bigetron should be going Mercury Treads because it's just such a great pickup into this roster. But yeah, I think DR just are going to struggle to execute. I think a little bit. They need to get their lanes ahead, and it's one of those situations that we saw previously where if they don't get their lanes ahead, I have a feeling they're going to struggle to execute on this comp.
So who's gonna jungle in here on the side of their esports? Is it gonna be the
definitely Gragas? Definitely Gragas. Yeah, Camille jungle is really bad. Camille jungle is super bad. Like you just don't play Camille jungle. It's definitely Gragas.
All right. So with the matchup between the Camille as well as the Graves, who are gonna give the upper hand to?
So Gragas versus Graves. Obviously, Gragas duels better in the early game than Graves, but Graves will have a slightly higher clear speed. Graves probably not going to be interested in looking to gank too much pre-5 unless there is an open opportunity for it. So I just imagine Graves will keep himself to himself, try and power farm, and just get some gold into his pocket before looking to fight. Gragas obviously a bit of a better ganker, better 1v1 matchup versus the Graves. But yeah, overall, I don't think they're going to meet too much in the jungle. Yeah. That's the thing that obviously that I think is going to be the difference maker. But honestly, it really comes down to the team fights for Bigetron. That's what they're going to want to look for. The team fights will be their primary way of pushing this game forward. And I think they are favored just from the outset.
All right, let's see then. We're going to be heading on to the battlefield anytime soon. Again, this is the round 2 match in the lower bracket between Bigetron Infinity versus DR Esports. With 1 point lead already for Bigetron Infinity, match point for them to move forward to the next round. So let's see how things will go.
Looks like we have a lane swap initiated here.
And on the top side, you can see what BDR is actually doing. Looks like they're going to go for an invade. We were talking about how potentially this Graves will not really going to go for that invade. But with the members, Henry and Nuts joining him onto the jungle camp of Team DR Esports, looks like this is going to go onto their side. And yeah, this is a good early start for BDR.
Yeah, I don't mind the adaptation from DR, though. They've kept Seraphine on the top side of the map. Just essentially to prevent the 2v1 from being too painful for the Camille. And actually, they've put Corki into the bot lane matchup versus the Malphite. Now, not only is this going to have a double whammy effect in the sense that Malphite can never, ever, ever use his Grasp of the Undying into the Corki matchup. He's never going to get the hit. What on earth am I watching?
Oh, but hold on thought. Look at that charm connecting onto Harry, but he doesn't mind because it looks like when a target Dartha's in here, the Gragas on his side of Team DR Esports, and did you see how they actually rotate in the map? They're just like, oh, but hold on thought, because in the middle lane in the river, we can see Henry super low on this fight. Gonna be the first blood onto the hands of the Seraphine. Harry needs to back away a little bit instead of being another casualty onto their hands. Oops, that's not gonna connect. It's gonna be safe, but for the meantime, Falp in here in the dangerous side gonna give that kill again. Onto the support, the Seraphine got a 2 kills so far.
Bigetron, honestly, ran that down. I don't know. And look, I'm people who know me. I'm an overly harsh critic sometimes of teams, but that was the dumbest thing I have seen today. Like, first of all, you rotated your Brawl and Graves through the 2 towers, the tier 1 and the tier 2 towers the enemy had. You know, Brawl already took damage from that. You then telegraphed exactly where you were. You didn't have lane priority mid. You definitely didn't have lane priority bot. So you entered into the bot side jungle with your Malphite under his own tower, and then tried to just take some Krugs away when Gragas was looking you in the face. You had a level 1 Brawl, and your Malphite was nowhere to be seen. It was that play really didn't make much sense to me. And again, Graves is not really a great duelist versus Gragas. Doesn't have a huge amount of damage in the early game. Doesn't have any CC to speak of. That was one of the most interesting plays in the early game.
It was
plays
very
I've
interesting.
seen.
It was very interesting.
I'm not sure.
I think they were even interesting in a weird way.
In a bad way.
But
interesting in a bad way. Not in a weird way, in a bad way. I don't know. But maybe they were limit testing. Let's just call it limit testing. Bigetron were limit testing this game.
Alright, well, they got the blue buff away from the Esports already. They got, you know, even the Grump as well. I think they should have been fine with that. But rotating in between turrets, taking some damage from there. I mean, they're giving only their life, but as well their position onto your enemies. So, I mean, maybe they have learned away from that. Anyway, this is 2k gold lead. Oh, look at that. Looks like they've been bullying Henry a lot here in the middle lane. Backup incoming from Falp. Oh, he's gonna go for that. Oh, but unfortunately did not connect onto anyone. Of course, and yeah, that was they have to retreat. Nothing really happened in that one. Except for what is happening on the top side. Only DR is going for a nice push.
I mean, this is such a good comp that BTR drafted, and the problem with all round pick ban is that if you don't win with this comp, you've utilized a load of S tier picks for absolutely nothing. I mean, they haven't played the game the way they really should have to begin with. They're going to go for this Drake, but I actually think they lose here. They've just used the Malphite ultimate. I genuinely feel like they lose this fight.
Oh man, looks like they will, and lots of charms, lots of CC coming up from the side of DR Esports, obliterating and taking down 3 members from the side of Team BDR and getting that nice position onto another objective. The Drake will go onto the hands of DR Esports. Man, this is 6 kills already onto the hands of DR Esports. We've been giving a lot of commendable things to say for them during the draft. Okay, this is a nice draft for BDR, but then again, man, what is happening?
Pack it up, boys. Go home. Next game. This is your 6k goal behind at 5 minutes. Nope. Pack it up. It's done. Your Malphite is going full AP. It's done. I don't even know. Look.
Oh, look at that.
There are plenty of things that you could say about this. Yeah, there's plenty of things you could say about this game, Kasaya, but I tell you what, that early jungle rotation was certainly something special. I mean, they are so far behind right now as well. You can see there's no way they can compete at this point in time. It would have to be a monumental throw right now for DR to lose this game. I'm putting bets on it now. We're going to game 3.
Yeah, for sure. I can feel that too. But this is also DR Esports is capitalizing the early lead that they got. You know, lots of CC also connecting whenever they want to pick off a target from the side of Team BDR. And just capitalizing on the lesser seed that they got. Here is Gospel DR not going to give away that turret onto Falp. Not much damage as of yet, but with a backup incoming in here coming from Rocks as well. That quite did not connect, but well, what a Slayer felt. Falp surprisingly will survive, but they have to give away this one turret down bot.
Yeah, I'm sorry for being harsh on the cast here, guys, but I have no idea what I witnessed at the start of this game. I don't know. The thing is, because they drafted so well, this composition makes a lot of sense in a 5v5 scenario.
Yeah.
But Graves is not a jungler that should be looking to the level 1 invade was fine, by the way. The invade on the blue buff was completely fine. They got the blue buff. By that point, go back to your own jungle. Back to your own jungle.
Yes, exactly.
You know that Gragas is in the red side jungle because he's not in the blue side jungle. So you know he's in the red side jungle at the start of the game. You walk between the tier 1 and the tier 2 tower.
Yeah.
What is going on there?
They have
I don't know.
greedy. They have been greedy, but this time, this is the moment. Look at the charm connecting onto a lot of targets. Looks like the Corki is just gonna try to go all out on this one, and them just dealing massive amounts of damage to look at how disciplined DR Esports is. I mean, yes, they can see a lot of Slither felt on the side of BDR, but no, they're not really going to be diving on that one. Instead, they're going to go be objective instead and just take down the turret. That's fine. I mean, okay, we get an objective, and if a kill follows, sure, why not? Give that to us.
And also, you got to remember the DR scale pretty well as well. Camille scales insanely well as a side lane split pusher. You know, I think Graga scales fairly well. Seraphine scales nicely. Ari is probably the most poorly scaling member in their team, but then you have Corki as well too. No one's building magic resist right now, apart from Brawl, who's building just a little bit right now. But like almost no one's building magic resist on the side of Bigetron. So like you're not going to get punished for having a very heavy AP composition. So honestly, right now, Bigetron, so DR are laughing like they are in complete control of this game.
I'm pretty sure you are too. I mean, yes, it's really funny. We had a lot of expectations from the draft of BDR, and they failed to show us how it must be done. So they were really too greedy. They're not yet even happy with just getting or stealing the blue buff away from the jungle camp of Team DR, and you know this is the time getting punished.
I don't know why they initiated the lane swap either. Like Malphite is a good matchup into Camille. Like Malphite is fine into Camille, right? Man. So why? Oh, that's a good package.
Yes, for sure. And yeah, with the Graves going home, definitely this is them just giving a lot of resources to DR Esports, and yeah, this is looking bad. I feel like DR Esports wouldn't really want to go this game onto a later match. And even wait for the Ezreal, Orianna, as well as the Graves to snowball. They can just capitalize on what they have already and just punish and punish and punish what BDR has been doing. Talking about punishing, we can see a dive in here onto the turret, but Team BDR, them beating out that Orianna as well. Falp going so low, look at that! Not even able to do anything. It's just so much CZ as well. The Brawl gonna go for that ultimate, but nah, that's not gonna do anything at all.
I mean, they can't. I mean, they're just too far behind at this point. The item spikes are not there. Like I said, DR would have to do something monumentally bad to throw this game at this point. I mean, they have a 12k gold lead before 10 minutes. That's the equivalent of 3 tier 3 completed items across the board, or 4 potentially tier 3 completed items across the board for DR. Now they are still on top of a ward right now, so the Malphite could ult them. They know that they're there. It doesn't matter. They're just going to kill the Orianna.
Henry is going to go down as well. Orianna saw that there are 2 members already. He should have just stayed under the turret and not show himself up. So yeah, no kills yet as for the side of BDR. Let's see what they're gonna do. They got a Rift Herald down bot, placed down by Nuts. And let's see if this is gonna force DR to go for a defensive play down. But nah, I mean, Camille can just handle that alone. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, you can have Camille sitting in the side lane. She's got Trinity Force Death Dance right now. So she's got a little bit of lifesteal. She's got a bit of damage reduction, and also the all-important Triforce has already been picked up, and the teleport is available too. She has teleport, so she can sit on that side of the map, and if you can keep Malphite stuck to that side of the map, one of the few teamfight tools that BTR have got, the ones that maybe could turn the tide of it, is going to be kept in the side lane, and there's nothing they can do about it. So obviously I think Baron's going to be on the cards for DR right now, and obviously if Camille just continues to pressure out that side lane, then I think it's going to be very difficult for BTR to respond.
Okay, let's see this one. Another fight ongoing in here. We can see the shockwave being pulled up by that Orianna. Harry still surviving quite a bit. Darthos will fall down. And we can see on the other end of the map, though, the Malphite is going to go down. But 3 members from the side of BDR still all alive and kicking. Rox can't do anything. He's a support, not much damage enough, but yes, this is a chase onto the Nexus because 2 members from the side of DR Esports looking like they want to take down this inhibitor turret and potentially just put a lot of pressure on the side of BDR.
That was a massive, massive win for DR as well. I mean, obviously they took a 3 versus 4 fight and lost around the Baron pit, but they get an inhibitor turret in the bot lane, which is now going to create natural pressure away from the Baron. This lane is the furthest away from the Baron lane, so it's going to create natural pressure through super minions that are going to have to be dealt with eventually. And all you need to do, if you're DR, is wait for someone to go and have to clear those minions. They still don't have teleport on the side of BTR, so as soon as someone turns up to try and clear those minions,
Wait, well, that was a really decisive move coming from the side of DR Esports. My problem is here, my worry in here is how much can they sustain the damage coming from the side of BDR
no.
as well. But then look at that Corki dealing massive amounts of damage as well. A triple kill, not too sure. Okay, that was the Camille stealing the last one, but that was really nice, decisive move. We saw that flash in coming from the members of, I forgot who that was, from the side of DR Esports, and then just go for that CC, and that actually stopped BDR from doing anything at all. I mean, I think this is it.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a 1-1.
This is game. This is
Yeah,
good game.
this is
Go to
game.
1-1, and honestly, like, and I don't say this often, BTR deserved to lose that game. I have no idea what they were doing in the early game. It was the most ridiculous level 1 that I've ever seen in my life, and like, rather the early jungle pathing, like the control and Harry, like I'd love to get inside their brain about that early jungle rotation. But it basically threw the game out the window. Like there was they gave up so much and then ended up losing a subsequent fight there, and they gave up so much in the early game they were never able to get back into it. I honestly can't wait to get Dave back in to chat about this, because like, my goodness. But I've got to give massive credit to DR. They absolutely executed on that. That was, you know, they took that early game advantage. Darthus 3, 2, and 13, like, he had such a high kill participation this game on this Gragas. He was given the early lead and he ran away with it. You know, he absolutely ran away with it. Massive credit for DR, because I think compositionally, if this was played evenly, they were slightly outclassed. But, you know, when they took that advantage, they completely steamrolled the game. And you just saw that there was no way at any point in that game that they were ever losing team fights or behind. And so that was a really well played game from DR.